Hey everyone, Felipe here, long time no see. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors card review video. In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Campus Tour Collector's deck. There is a couple weeks left on the banner, so if you were still deciding whether or not to get these cards, I am here to give you my opinions on these cards. So before we get started, Collector's decks usually have cards that are matted originals, but they have active skills that will borrow or be similar to collaboration cards from the past. This is because collaboration cards don't usually come back, so if there is an active skill that's really good, it may be lost forever. So for that reason, Madhead brings in Madhead originals with similar active skills so that new players can still obtain these types of active skills in the current meta. So we have Javanor, we have Moliana, we have Shroy, we have Aurea, and we also have Nocturne. And these 5 cards will be borrowing skills or have similar skills to previous collaboration cards. So let's get started with the first card will be Miss Octopus Javanor. This is going to be a Fire Dragon card, CD5, and her skill will be the same as Yoko from the Gurren Lagann series. You can see basically their skills are going to be the same. You get rid of dark runes, you get rid of light runes, generate fire and heart runes instead. Leader's attack increases by 3, and you also launch a non-attributive damage of 2 millions as a snipe damage before you attack. There is a slight difference where Yoko will give Gurren Lagann members a CD reduction effect when you dissolve all runestones, but of course Javanor does not have this effect, but instead she does reduce the skill cooldown of dragons by 1 if you dissolve all runestones in the first batch. My opinion, Yoko is one of the best support cards in the game. This is because she gets rid of light and dark runes, so any stage that has light or dark debuffs, like Dark Block, Dark Trojan, Dark Combo Nullifying, um, all those, they are rendered basically ineffective against Yoko because she does remove all of these runes before you start moving. So it is really good. Also, she has a snipe, so any stealth shields, you are able to remove them before you attack. And you also get a ×3 multiplier to your leader, which is really good for cards like Tsuyo that have a self-attack multiplier in their leader skill and allow you to launch even higher damages. Even for teams that don't have multipliers for humans or fire cards, Yoko is still put in them just for the sheer utility that she provides for your team. So the fact that if you missed Yoko, you are basically missing out a really important card is why I think Madhead decided to release Javanor, and this is because Javanor will also fit this role, especially for newer players that don't have access to Yoko. And the fact that she is not Gurren Lagann and she also helps you reduce the skill cooldown of dragons is also going to be a really nice addition that will make her fit in more teams. Except that, no one really used Yoko for the skill CD reduction. You mostly use it to get rid of light and dark runes and also for the leader attack and also the snipe damage. Additionally, when you turn off the skill, you get a full board conversion of all 5 attributes of enchanted runestones, which can also help you clear out really annoying shields, really annoying enemies like Quintet Elemental shields, and also like Heart Block, etc. etc. So yeah, overall, Yoko's skill is really good, and I'm glad that they bring it back in Javanor. So definitely, if you don't have her, it is worth considering getting this card. Uh, but I will give my conclusions at the end of the video whether you should pull for this collector's deck or not. Next, we have Pounding Sensation, Aurea, and Nesoi. This is going to be the card based on Shinji Ikari and Nagisa Eba, so EVA 13 basically, where you will be able to release the lock skills of all gods in the team. Team attack increases by 2, and the team combo count will be set at 13. And then you also get the second effect where you turn 2 columns to explode them and generate enchanted runes of the member's attribute column. And then after skill activation, there's a 40% chance that the skill will be reusable. Um, and this skill is also not locked. So this skill, in my opinion, is also going to be a really good card. EVA 13, a lot of people use it in clearing Nightmare stages, Ultimate stages. This is because you do get to release the lock skills of all your god members, and you also get to break high combo shields because your combo count is set to 13. So any 10 plus combo shields, 9 plus combo shields, 8 plus combo shields, they are rendered basically useless with this card because your combo count will be set at 13. This also increases your attack by a lot, and you also get an additional ×2 attack bonus. So this is going to be a really useful card to have for your God teams and also your Dark teams, but more importantly for your God team, since you are able to release the lock skills of those members. So EVA 13, really good card that saw a lot of play in a lot of team clears on ultimate stages, nightmare stages. So definitely bringing it back in Aurea and the Soy is definitely also a really good card in this collector's deck. But yeah, moving on, we have Shroy, the cutest of all time, Shroy. This is going to be a CD6 water human card, and this basically this active skill has 2 effects. You choose one of them. And this card is designed after Kurt's sword owner Mitsurugi Kyoya from the Konosuba series. And in my opinion, Shroy is going to be a strict upgrade to Mitsurugi Kyoya. If you don't have Mitsurugi Kyoya but you get Shroy, you don't need Mitsurugi Kyoya. This is because his first effect is Mitsurugi's active skill, word for word. Explode the columns of runestones below the monster, leader, and ally, and any if there's an additional effect in play, your team attack increases for 1 round. However, Mitsurugi Kyoya has a team skill with Aqua, the stupid goddess, where basically you end up getting Shroy's second effect, which is the tap a runestone in the magical circle of elements and explode the type of that runestone. And for 1 round, if there's an additional effect, your team attack increases by 2.5. So basically, Shroy gives you the choice of having these 2 active skills without having to rely on the team skill with Aqua, the stupid goddess, because that is Mitsurugi Kyoya's team skill. So basically, Shroy is a strict upgrade from Mitsurugi Kyoya. However, it was not that great of an active skill to begin with. It is pretty useful in certain situations, but there are definitely better cards that don't require you to have an additional effect in play. Nowadays, we do have a lot of buffs, booster cards that will allow you to have that additional effect in play. But if you encounter, let's say, neutralized resets or effect clearing mobs, then this skill can be a little bit unreliable to get that additional team attack bonus. So in my opinion, it is better to bring other cards that give you more consistent damage and more reliable skill effects that don't rely on transient properties like additional effects and things like that. So yeah, definitely a good effect, good skill, and a strict upgrade from its collaboration counterpart. However, it doesn't have the best skill in my opinion, and if you get it, good. If you don't get it, you're not missing out on much. Next, moving on, we have Nocturne. This is going to be a Earth Elf, and this skill is going to be designed after Yomi from the Yu Yu Hakusho series. This effect is word for word, same CD, same effect, where you modify Earth runes to make them Elf runes, and you also absorb the attack, the first attack from the first enemy, and deal a counterattack as much as 50 times the absorbed attack. So this is going to be a pretty good card, a pretty good effect because it allows you to dodge an enemy's attack regardless of defense breaking attributes. So even if they have 100% defense reduction or phantom attacks, you are able to survive those hits because you're absorbing it rather than reducing the damage, which means that it is the best way of dodging in the game because it doesn't the enemy cannot bypass these type of skills and you will still be able to survive. That being said, CD8 is quite long. No one really plays Yomi anymore. The only reason you would play Yomi was if you played a Kurama team because they do have a team skill together, and having this team skill and combined skill was actually pretty useful back in the day. However, as a standalone skill, there are many other options that you can use, and definitely not the best choice in terms of utility nowadays. That being said, if you get it, good. If you don't get it, then you're not missing out on much. Especially if you're a newbie, getting new cards like these could potentially be really beneficial for your inventories because you get a lot of different types of utility. But yeah, let's move on to the last card that we have, and we have Moment of a Heartbeat Moliana. This is going to be a light human card, CD6, and the skill is modeled after Makarov from the Fairy Tail series. And just like Shroy, I do think this skill is going to be a strict upgrade from Makarov. The effect is basically the same, however, the activation conditions are going to be much simpler, which allows Moliana to be put in more teams as opposed to Makarov. So basically the effect is to deal a snipe damage of 200 times the character's attack, and if you fulfill the condition, you are able to deal this damage regardless of boss skills. And this, if the damage were higher, this would be the most OP effect in the game, because ignoring boss skills is absolutely insane. And as far as I know, I think this is the only card that has this effect. This is because you get to ignore everything, no matter what, like puzzle shields, initial shields, stealth shields, overheal, everything like that. You are able to ignore them. The only thing that's holding it back is that the damage that you deal is actually not that high. For example, 200 times attack of Makarov at level 99, that is going to be about um, 60,000, 600,000, which in the current meta, enemies have like a million, 2 million, 10 million, a billion HP. So the amount that you're dealing is not that great. It is going to be really powerful against overheal enemies that don't really have that much HP. Like a 600,000 HP enemy, pretty easy. Um, you could kill it in 2 activations of Makarov, really. And that is pretty useful. However, in real uh, in real applications, you wouldn't be using this skill that often because it is a little bit unreliable, the damage is not that high, and there are many other cards in the game that could help you one-shot these types of enemies rather than relying on an active skill um, that doesn't deal that much damage. However, that being said, I do think Moliana is a better card than Makarov because Makarov, his condition is to have 4 or more fairy tale monsters in the team, and that is going to basically lock your team to just fairy tale cards. And in the current meta, no one is running fairy tale members, and no one wants to use a full team of fairy tale members because the utility isn't that good at breaking shields and breaking new stages nowadays. That being said, for Moliana, the condition is to only have 4 or more light humans in the team, which is a much more easier condition to hit. And Mathead really loves the light human, uh, like the light human archetype, and they release light humans all the time. So it is definitely going to be a pretty easy way to slot her in teams. That being said, as far as I know, I have only used Makarov once, and that was against an overheal shield, and that basically just cut down the time that I was grinding because the fairy tale teams have really low recovery, but with Makarov I could just snipe the health once every 6 rounds, and that way I could kill the enemy that way. Ever since, I haven't used Makarov before. Like I said, the damage is pretty low, even though ignoring boss skills is absolutely insane and super OP if the damage were higher. But yeah, so that is going to be all 5 cards for the collaboration collector's deck. And in my opinion, the only 2 that are really worth getting are going to be Aurea and Nasoy, and also Javanor. This is because their active skills are actually really, really good, especially Javanor's or Yoko's skill. Definitely, you've seen a lot of people add her to their teams, and there is a good reason for that because this skill is absolutely insane. It does so much, like conversion, attack increase, CD reduction, snipe, and also ignore Quintet Enchanter Shield when you deactivate it, and you can also deactivate it anytime. So this skill is definitely a must get in my opinion. That being said, should you get it from the collector's deck or should you pull for the collector's deck? Keep in mind that the collector's deck has 20 cards in it. This is going to be 100 diamonds total. So in order for you to guarantee all the cards, you should be ready to spend about actually 20 times. Yeah. You should be ready to spend 100 diamonds. If worst case scenario you get unlucky. And this wouldn't be too bad if you got something good out of the other 15 cards. The only other issue I have with the collector's deck, and that I've always had with the collector's deck, is that the other cards, other than the 5 new jackpot cards, are materials like Harpy Knights, Essence Soulstones, Neon Crows, Silver Mathits, 3 Harpies, Baby Harpy Knights. And in my opinion, spending 5 diamonds for just a Harpy is not the best feeling. Not great. Because you can get Harpies from basically anything. If you clear a new ultimate stage, you get a Harpy. If you clear a returning ultimate stage, you get a Harpy. Basically, Harpies are not that rare anymore, and spending 5 diamonds for just one Harpy feels bad. That being said, is it worth spending 100 diamonds for a Yoko skill? Depends. I'm leaning more towards yes, because the skill is really powerful. A lot of people say that if you don't have Yoko, you're basically behind other people because the skill is so good. So this is a chance to get a skill like that. So if you already have Yoko, I would say don't worry about it because you already have Yoko. If you don't have Yoko, I would strongly recommend you consider pulling for it, maybe, if you have the resources for it. That being said, it is still quite early. We still have about like 2 weeks to go for this collector's deck, which means that the news for the next collaboration will come out soon. And based on that, you can decide whether you want to save your diamonds for that collaboration or if you should pull for these skills. I would say once you get Javanor and maybe once you get Aurea and Nesoi, you can call it. The other cards are nice, but they are not necessarily must-haves. Aurea and Nesoi is also arguably not a must-have because there are other ways of releasing your lock skills with like Bringhilda or other dark cards and Kidu that are also dark gods that can release your lock skills, and there are always other ways of increasing your combo count and increasing your damage. However, if you want it all in one kit with dual active skills, then Aurea and Nesoi is definitely a good card to have in your inventory. So in my opinion, final thoughts, the only 2 cards that are worth in this collector's deck are Aurea and Nesoi, and of course Javanor with the Yoko-like skill. That being said, spending 100 diamonds to guarantee these 2 might not be the most resource efficient way. Uh, if you're a new player and you don't have that many diamonds, then definitely I would consider waiting until the news for the next collaboration come out to see if you want to spend your diamonds there or if you want to spend them on this collector's deck. That being said, if you already have really good leaders and you're only missing a support or utility cards to break shields and to make the runs easier, then getting Javanor might be a good idea for you. Still, I am not really a fan of having to spend 5 diamonds for a single Harpy, so if you already have all the collaboration cards, then I would say skip it, baby. Takoyaki attack or Miss Octopus Javanor has more flexibility than Yoko, but even then, it is a Yoko skill basically. I am conflicted about it. Um, yeah, definitely, I do think the skill is a must-have, but spending 100 diamonds for it, it is a risk-benefit analysis at that point, right? So whether you want to spend your diamonds or whether you want to save. So in my opinion, I would recommend holding off until you learn what the next collaboration is and make a decision based on that, based on your inventory and based on the needs of your teams, whether you want to pull for this card or not. I do think this card is broken and definitely worth having in your inventory, but depending on your resources, you might want to save those for another collaboration or such. Remember, this is a game and you can play however you want, and make sure you keep your financial well-being before anything else in this game. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this collector's deck. Please let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed anything. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.